Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat from the damn street. Coming with the facts, the crack backs, and the boom bip to the line ass lips. This is PBNN, Point Black, National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do. Now today, we even seeing where reporters are going over there and even walking through Gaza Strip, telling everybody and showing everybody about how much damage is being done and how the people are over there crying and everybody's getting attacked and just like the attack on the Capitol, an attack on Ukraine, I mean Russia on Ukraine, attack on the Capitol, attack on this, attack on that, and everything, attack from Hamas, and Hamas sparked the war, and all of this and that. And America runs over there in great proportions, bombing up Iraq, Iran, and all kinds of other places. You know what I'm saying? Talking about they attacked also and did a strike. This is seemingly the creepy Joe Biden's administration, any administration that is involved in this chaotic nonsense of this overseeing and taking over even Africa and this land and this people and the people who settle there into a war of genocidal behavior is something that we must seriously take a hard look at. This is not something that's just a joke. What right do they have, any of them, to be creating this hell and harem in the land of Africa, you know what I'm saying, and genociding people at the same time as they've been always doing, even to the Africans themselves, and being helped by probably Africans to do so as well. You know what I'm saying? And this genocidal, invasional, slavish, chaotic, Baphomet, Luciferian, some kind of world order bullshit is going on based on everything else. While they try to, pump us with this and pump us with that. And others come in and they don't have to be pumped. You know what I'm saying? But you have to get the pump. And you know what I mean. Setting up based on still many running around with the ideology that the pump was put there for a reason of savability under the guise of trigonometry. You know what I'm saying? Without it being actually there. But once the people got the pump, you know what I'm saying? Now you actually had the creation of all that you're going to hear about based on this and based on that coming out and coming in and extremely this and extremely that. And, you know what I'm saying? And mosquitoes biting people with rare and giving them rare brain disease, only goes to show the genetic cloning of these things that they're doing to harm humans. Their whole ideology seems to be the extermination of human beings, you know what I'm saying, in itself, right here in the United States. And to put us under as much stress and duress and fear that the demon Democrats go into their so-called trying to create a popularity amongst themselves that they have saved the world when they are the ones who created the chaos that we see. That is a harem and hell to the world. And people still believe and talking about voting for any democratical candidate, you know what I'm saying, other than ones that must have some kind of good agenda that they see and is doing it in proof and reality, is the only one can survive. But in the same thing goes for the Republican Party. if the Republican Party, who was running around here doing the bullshit, cannot see past that of which they are having their hands in by bipartisan and all this bullshit to come talk about some bipartisan rather than standing up and and saving lives across the planet and ending these wars that they have created, and the Democrat following and having hand by bipartisan, you know what I'm saying, but they deem Democrats being the head of the snake, you know what I'm saying, is not showing, you know what I'm saying, any good posture on either party. But the one party that is causing the hell and the harem has been using the other party in order to stay in its stalemate back and forth to create these things, so when the time comes, you know what I'm saying, they can still be doing the hell and harem around the world and claiming that they're doing something to help the world when they are the creators of what we see. It doesn't matter whether it's Ethiopia, Sudan, South Africa, Africa, many parts of Africa, Europe, Yemen. It doesn't matter Ethiopia. It doesn't matter where. You know what I'm saying? You know by the ones that are doing the damage as the ones that's in bed with the beast. And it's as simple as that. There should be no hell and harem in any country of small children being blown apart. You know what I'm saying? Men and women being amputated or blown apart, beaten, killed, raped, bombed, all types of shit. It doesn't matter where these bombs or this hell and earth, it must cease and settle on the general people as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that this person did this and this person did that, and then now because of that, you are consistently bombing and genociding the people in the Gaza Strip, and it's being played out in protests over here in the United States, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so on. And then you're sending military U.S. troops over there, and they're also over there bombing and doing what the bomb. So we see the hell and harem. Then we jump over to the argument with Taiwan, going back to where they have this bullshit going on. Then you jump over here to Ukraine, and now you have an all-out scale, all-out scale of attack based on the fact of saying that the other one attacked them first when it's the other way around. Ukraine really attacked Russia first, no matter how you push and turn it, by simply just even putting the country in the hands of a criminal organization called NATO and saying it wants to be a part of it. Knowing full well if that takes place, they're going to use the 36 nations to bully Russia and put nuclear weapons in Ukraine and so on and so on and so on, right in Russian territory, in its back door. You know what I'm saying? In its back land or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But it's still within the territory of Moscow, Russia, and all the whole nine. So where we see this nonsense going on, we know for a fact that these people have put themselves in a position for many, many years to do the corruption that they're doing. Just placing a vote is not going to always fix the problem. And this is something American people has got to understand. Second thing is those that you vote for, that you keep on voting for, and not seeing a way of rebuilding a strong coalition base of citizens and people and common people to make sure that the government is not a totalitarian or totalitarian government regime, racist Nazism, or any kind of regime that wants to cult up our country. And we must flush these things down the toilet. And the coalition of the people must come past only a protest. It cannot just be only a protest, because a protest is a start and a great start to show that this. But then when the resistance comes, we must stand firm, and those that are protesting must be, you know, say, reinforced by more of the common people who is now crying out for the common people across the world. This is important to understand because what has happened is these governments are able to formulate government. But when we look at the secrecy and the bullshit within the government and outside the government, and those involving themselves in the government, who wants to say they're a philanthropist or anything like this, and have more say than the common people, and able to manipulate and support the corruption or the chaoticness and murder of people in the very country that he says he's a philanthropist for. But we see this nonsense in all ways. You know what I'm saying? What is a political philanthropist? A political a political philanthropist could be anybody that come from even another country that is enemy to our country and want to see the destruction of our country from the inside out. We must take notice of this as American people. We're too busy worrying about what one person has to say based on the fact that he might be saying it and he's so crazy and he's funny. You know, many will say, "Oh, Peter, oh, he's funny," or Johnny, he's funny. You know, but it's not funny when people's lives have been ruined by your touch of your hand in their country or their land or their world, to where you create hell and harem while you sit over here and act like it's sweet and peaches and roses and cream, and everybody see you as a upright model citizen. This is what the church and many churches do. You know what I'm saying? They sit in your face and they make you believe that they're the most model citizens because they have found some kind of God. But they're no more than just the regular common people, just like you and I. The same path we walk is the same path they're going to have to walk when their time comes, as anyone else. But for them to sit up there and call themselves God or God's people, or whoever Jesus Christ by for medical understanding that they may have, you know what I'm saying, is not out there speaking up for what we see is going on now in the Gaza Strip and literally almost all over the world. Now, many will say, oh no, it was not all over the world because the simple fact was um, we didn't get attacked, or this didn't happen here, or this didn't happen there. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And want me to tell you how it did and how we know that it was and it is and it's the same old bullshit tonight? So what you call the pandemic in a global form wasn't a pandemic globally. It went global. But anyway, the people have been attacked again and again and again and again and again and again. This is not the first time. You know what I'm saying? But in itself, when we even look at the spread of AIDS in itself and how AIDS have affected many lives in the United States, white and black and Spanish, you know what I'm saying, and so forth, you know what I'm saying? You know, we know that's an orchestration of their bestiality and bestialness that they do to the people. And it's not just in that form of the calling it biological. Biological could be drugs as well. You see what I'm saying? Rather than bring the people peace and tranquility and work on these things that need to be worked on based on making the world a better and peaceful place to live, that one can travel to each other's land and enjoy a trueness of mind, frame, and heart to embrace the culture, the food, the people, the men and the women, they and the children, you know what I'm saying, that we can see the world as one. We're too busy worrying about these leaderships that we elected or asked for us to elect them and then turn around and stab us literally in the back. It's the same thing we see going on with Netanyahu. How long have they been playing that trick that we see? You know what I'm saying? You even have the Jewish people standing up for Palestine. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to judge their what's the word? Judge their genuinity, the genuinity of it, because if they're standing up, then that is right. So the Jewish people for peace that are standing up and protesting in the name of the Jewish people have shown me something. You know what I'm saying? Many would say, well, many of these things might not be genuine, such as we saw with George Floyd and the George Floyd incident. You know what I'm saying? Ahmaud Arbery and many different situations that were politicized to cause the mind frame of the people to move to the left and the right. You know what I'm saying? This is what people like Obama, Arab ass, does. And he gets in our government bringing this woke garbage and all kinds of nonsense and is a trans couple. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just say that, you tricked the United States American people into believing that this was this. That's an insurrection in itself. It is not a judgment of your contents or your character, but in a sense, when you bring evil in, then that will happen. So everybody that takes the commander chief or whatever you want to call it seat as the president in this country must be fully examined by the people. That is not happening. So in more ways than one, a vote is not going to solve everything.